morning, welcome back. We've got all the boaters out today. The food fishery thing is open, so everybody's going out to get their that have a boat, that is, going out to see if they can catch some codfish. But today it's a beautiful day, I think, for me to do the pruning of the shrubs around here. So that's what we're going to be doing. I should only need the small hand pruners, because this is a rose bush, of course. Put on some heavier gloves. It's difficult to use the pruners with the glove on, so hold on to the branch with one with the glove down and cut my way in, I guess. I have to cut down all the shoots that's coming out here. Now I'm going to size this up and see if I want to leave that. It's a matter, see, of how wide do I want this bush to be when I'm done. And I think they're coming up just right there, but I think I'm going to leave those and try to make this a perfect circle eventually. So I'll leave this one as well. Now what do we have here? We have a cane here. It doesn't look like it's doing too well, but I cut out all the old canes last year, so I don't know why that one's like that. But to make it a perfect circle, I'm going to have to cut back this one. Let's see, I cut it back to there, I guess. And since this cane is sick, might as well cut them on down. That one's out too far, so I'm going to cut that down. This one has to be cut back just a little bit. Right there. Now it's going to take a few times to get this perfect, but it is looking good. And when I get the lawnmower again now, I'll mow the grass right up tight to it and see what I'm going to remove inside and put a ring of mulch around the outside of the bush so that I know where it's supposed to be, its boundaries. This is getting to be an awfully big bush. It's growing nicely. I don't have to do anything with it per se, but like we normally do, we'll make it more of a circle shape, except I think to be a good neighbor, you shouldn't let your shrubs grow over into your neighbor's property. So I want to cut this back so that I can walk down between the hydrangea and the fence. let's see. When we're cutting off the branches, we want to cut it back to where a branch forks or comes off from the side so that it looks neater. This is why I want to cut it back this far rather than just lob off the branches out here. If you just lob off the branches out here, you get this bushy outside growth and blocks out the light from the inside, and then basically you just got a dead inside without any leaves, and it's just the green from the on the outside part of the bush. It looks like now that I've got that part done, I'm going to have to cut that way back. I'll have that one off there. Let's see. One's going to have to come out back here. Dead piece that was shaded out, you see? Don't know if the sun will be creating problems there. There, now I can walk behind it and I can get those stinging nettles out of there as well. Now what are we going to do with the outside, eh? It's going to be a little difficult here because it has been a little shaded, so I can't just cut it all back because then I'll cut all the green off. But in a little further where there's a green shoot coming off, then I'll cut it back to that for now. And so I'll just have this part thinned out a bit, and it'll fill back in. See, that's basically what I'm trying to do with a shrub like this, is to open it up enough so you don't get that just green on the outside and all dead tangle of twigs on the inside. I'm definitely not a professional at trimming bushes, but there's work to be done, right? This is what this video is about. There's work to be done on the homestead, and it's got to be done. This is where all the flowers were earlier. I can dead-end that. This is cause for some, don't get too anxious, but second set of leaves haven't been eaten by the flea beetles, or whatever kind of beetles it are. So I'm thinking, what if I cut back all of this dead stuff now? See, this is all dead. This is not going to grow anything. I have the big loppers there, but size it up. There's a little leaf coming out right there. So how far back do I cut before I'm actually into live wood? Live wood is starting right there. See, I got some green there, but that's where it ends. There. Bit of green there. There, and once again now, when I get into weeding mode again, I'll clean up that vegetation that's around the base. Just one little branch I need to take off this pine tree because it's become a headbanger. I have to duck every time I come along here. Let's see if I can get them off with these loppers. That did very well. Take off that couple of little dead pieces there. Here's another dead piece. Throw this on this pile over here in the chipping pile. Now, as I mentioned in the walkabout video, I got this one, the grapevine, put back, espalier or however they call it, along the fence. And I do have recording of that, so hopefully it's a good recording, and I will insert it right here. I want to start training these vines before they get too long. Now, I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it, so I'm just going to set up the camera and I'm going to clip all of these tendrils and then decide where to put them. I had to replace the wiring in the house, and so I add a length of the old wiring and I cut it up into lengths like this, and that's very stiff, so I can wrap it around and make clips to hold the vines in place. I've got 51 of them there. So now, like I said, let's start by clipping the tendrils. Now that I have it all detached and inside, I have to decide which ones are the layers and string them along the fence every so far, like every 12 inches, 1 foot is the ideal I've got in mind. What have we got here? This is the lower one here. I think I'll cut this one off. So I'll cut this one here off. I'll have this one going here. The second old one going a foot up from it. Then I have a new one coming here. And then the top one I can split into two as well. So I'll put that one over there. Get the new one disconnected from everything else. Flip that over there. Okay, I got them all flipped over. I'll take this one. You see, I don't have to fold it over on itself. Just make a ring of that wire. And then it'll hold it against the fence there. But now, from there, if I keep eye on it, I'll be able to poke it back and forth. So I'll leave it like that for a bit. When it grows a little longer, I'll poke it back in again and back and forth like that. So I'll move you up. Now our next one is this one. So that has to go back over there. Put that ring on there. Broke the occasional leaf off, but nothing serious. Now here's the new vine that I was talking about. Since that is new, I'll just be able to wind them in and out of the fence. Need any clips. That. And it starts to go across there. Then we have this tall one. That one will go right to the top and I'll train across the top of the fence. We got this one. I can poke out through there. We have this to deal with. Let's see who's going where. We'll start with the top on this one time. This, okay, so they got this one coming up here and it's going to go across. And I'll put this one up beside them and come across that way. There, that's looking good, I think. What do you think? We'll just continue those vines now, either way on the fence. I'm going to have to wait for that one to grow up some more before I can put him on the fence sensible. I haven't figured out what I want to do about this maple yet, so I guess it's going to be left for now. So looking at this from above, you'll see why I want to cut this back and try to get them, or should I say keep them, growing in more of a upright fashion, and anything that's leaning out, just keep cutting it back, and hopefully I can do that. I'll have to do that every year. And these are a little harder to cut. Once again, cut them back to a node. That's okay, I'm not going to worry about these being a perfect shape, just an upright shape, because they got those big tall canes that tend to look kind of unruly, and that's just basically the way they are supposed to look. I have a little bit I need to cut here. Like so. I thought about doing this earlier in the year, and this one in particular is really out in the way. There's a bird's nest right there. Mama bird was still sitting on the eggs. And so she brought out her chicks, and now I can go ahead and prune this tree. That's what's going to be done with that one for now. That wasn't too bad. This is something that technically you could take the edge trimmer through and just go around it. But I don't think it's a good idea to do that with currant bushes. Currants are one thing that can grow in the shade, and so you notice how it's actually growing better on the west and north side, and here we're down on the southeast side and it's not growing up so well. I'm going to cut off those tent caterpillar things, I think. But for the most part, it's, like I said, on this northwest side that I need to cut it back. As long as it's not falling out, I don't mind it going high. I'll probably stop a currant bush if it gets taller than this. Now this is something I think you're better off taking an edge trimmer to. I always forget the name of it, but that's irrelevant. The thing is, it's got a really fine, little small leaves and really fine branches, and just like a boxwood edge or something, you take it. I think it would probably be best to do it when just after the flowers fade, but the real best time to do it is the time you got, because otherwise it doesn't get done, right? This is the first time this is going to get a real trial, because before I just brushed over a few. But let's see how this goes now. I have to cut it in. Can't do the complete round because I have to cut it back from this raised bed here. See, when you're trimming this kind of thing, if you come up from the bottom, all the leaves will fall as you're cutting them. If you go down from the top, you get a build-up of vegetation as you go down, and it makes it harder. So you go that way, from bottom to top. I don't want that balsam poplar growing there. looks good. What does it look like from your direction? Yeah, I see a little bit where I had to cut in over the bed, but other than that, I've got it formed fairly well. There we go. Now most of these whips you see growing up here, that's the other from the rootstock. So I got to cut them down and see what I'm going to do about the actual plum tree whip. Now I have to get something. This is the tree that I was letting grow before because I just wanted to see what it was. This is the original whip that I bought, and it's a plum tree. This is the whip that is growing out of this one. And this is, of course, the rootstock. And all of these little things are growing out of this. What I want to do now is take my pruning saw. I'm going to have to go in backwards and cut that right off at ground level. Oh, it's not going to be that easy to do it that way. Well. Okay, so there's that little part. So I got that cut down further. If I had been taking care of this earlier, that whip might have grown more this year, but oh well. We'll see what happens in the future. Now you see, this is the cherry tree, and what I don't like about branches hanging down like that, well, there's a couple things. One is it's hard to control the vegetation underneath. The other thing is that if I could put a small step ladder in underneath, then I'd have 3 or 4 feet extra picking height right in by the trunk. Whereas now, I can't, well, it's very difficult to get anything underneath here. So this branch, I think there's 2 branches. I want to take these branches that's hanging right down low like this off and have the crown up to about right here. Maybe that bit of stuff over on this side too, what's hanging really low. Yeah, I like that. I'll back you up and you'll be able to see the full tree, and it looks good. Now you see, you can get in under the tree, put a little step ladder in there, and you'll be able to walk right up into the branches all the way around. Now as for the plum tree, like I said in an earlier video, I'm going to wait till the plums are ripe. I'll pick all the plums, and then I got to cut that thing right back to the trunk. I started in at this so that I can fix up this little shed, but I need a better setup. So that'll be the end of my pruning endeavors for 2023, I guess. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next video.